What is up, movie viewers? Dena Views and Reviews here, asking what you watching. Today I am watching Give Me Back My Daughter. Now this movie stars Gabourey Sidibe, Cadence Reese, Erica Page, and Sean Anthony Baker. It is written by Xavier Burden. Kelly Colley is the director. It is produced by Leslie Grief, Eric Thomasounas, Jason Eggenberg, Xavier Bergen, Jenna Cavell, David Eubanks, and Kelly Colley. This movie centers around Renee. Renee is played by Gabourey Sidibe, and her daughter, Imani. Imani, once again, is played by Cadence Reese. She is an adorable cutie pie. Now, Renee is a widowed yet very devoted, hard-working mom that unexpectedly she loses her job. And as a result of her loss of employment, it becomes very difficult for her to afford the apartment that she's in. She can't pay the rent. So she and Imani is eventually required to leave the building. Now, although she is actively trying to find employment, she's just not having any luck with it. And unfortunately, she ends up being evicted from that apartment because she just can't afford to pay the rent. And because of her financial situation, she and Imani have no other choice but to live in her automobile. They find it difficult just to find a safe place in which to sleep at night, or locating facilities where they can wash up and keep themselves clean. Even though she's dealing with this homeless situation, she continues to pursue employment. She's not having very good luck at this at all, trying to find a place for them. She's trying to go to shelters to see if they could at least spend the night there or sit in the chair, and she's just not having any luck with this. She's tried getting public assistance to help her without luck. So she is having a problem basically because they say she doesn't have a residence, and it's difficult to get mail if you don't have a residence. I kept saying, why didn't she get a P.O. box? But she needed to have a home address before they could actually help her. They are homeless, yet Renee continues to desperately try to get a job to change their situation. She's also continuously sending her daughter Imani to school. This allows her to go on various interviews and follow leads on jobs. Finally, at her wit's end, she gets a call from someone that's interested in having her come for an interview for a job. And she's so desperate it's late at night, and she calls them because she wants this job. She want to come to this interview. But she plans a time. She sets a time, a schedule for this appointment for the interview. She phones a friend who she gets to agree to watch her daughter while she goes to this interview. But when she arrives at the friend's apartment, no one answers the door. She's very short on time, and she's trying to get to this job interview because she really needs this job. So she has no choice really but to bring Imani with her. So from her experience on her last interview, when she brought Imani, it didn't go well. So this time she asked Imani to sit in the car and wait for her to go to this interview, and she'll be right back. Unfortunately, the interview runs long. And because it has ran long, there are people and onlookers that sees this little girl sitting in the back of the car, and they think it's odd. So they're thinking, we better call the authorities because this is just not good. And she's headed back to tell Imani the good news. When she turns the corner, to her surprise, she sees police cars. And she notices that Imani is being led away from the scene by a member of Child Protective Services. She is devastated, but the police put her in handcuffs. She is taken into custody. Now, Amani is not returned to Renee. She is instead put into foster care. And even though very distraught, Renee says, I am going to do whatever is required and necessary to regain custody of my child. I gave this movie 2.5 stars. It really tapped into the reality of what many people, and particularly single mothers, may experience or have experienced at some point while they're trying to stabilize themselves. And they may very well be dealing with this currently. I think it did a wonderful job of pulling in the viewer and taking the viewer on along for the ups and downs, the disappointments, and the everyday struggles. It gave you a peek into what some single moms are faced with daily, trying to provide for their child or their children while also having to deal with personal difficulties, feelings of despair, even grief, and misfortunes that befall upon people, and sometimes they have no control over it. And they find that sometimes people are just not sympathetic to it, and you find that people don't have compassion, or they don't want to waste time trying to assist others. And that's how it can come off or even appear. But there are a lot of single mothers that are looked upon in this society as enemies, negatively or unkind. And I don't understand that at all, because many of those mothers are facing circumstances that they didn't expect to find themselves in. They may be widowed, like in this case. Other things can happen that they have no control over. And sometimes people lack the ability to show compassion for those mothers, or at least those children, because those women, for the most part, most of them are hardworking people. They're dealing with a lot and facing a lot of obstacles and challenges, but they make it. It's harder, it may be difficult, but they manage somehow to maneuver around these obstacles that are put in their way. It also, this movie shows the dedication that moms have to fight for their children and their well-being. And they like to show, I think this movie showed the self-sacrifices that many single mothers are forced to make for the betterment of themselves and their children. Now, in spite of those who are often on the outside looking in and can be, as I said, oblivious to what these mothers are dealing with, what this movie shows is the importance of being able to work on yourself, depend on, find a group or surround yourself with people that you can depend on, or opportunities that are offered you can take advantage of within the communities or in certain settings, to develop a network that can assist you along the way. I think this movie highlighted this. Now, although it is a fictitious movie, I think it was quite relatable, and it was just like I said, a look into the life of a single mother. Give Me Back My Daughter is a Lifetime movie, and if you are interested in checking it out, you most certainly can do so, because it is still streaming on Lifetime. If you have not already, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and drop me a comment letting me know what you thought of this movie, and tell me what movies or shows that you are watching. Join me weekly for another review or movie recommendation, and I want you to remember, it's my view. Now, what are you watching?